Good morning. This is Grandmaster Herbert Ware with Mount Tabor Grand Lodge, a YouTube channel. Welcome once again. I do always want to promote Masonic maturity through Scripture. This book is designed to help us get our head together, our spirit together, so that we may move forward and elevate ourselves to take better care of us, our families, our community. So this morning we're going to talk to Brother John Walker, who's been with the Mount Tabor for how many years, Brother Walker?
About 6 years.
6 years. So he's going to share a little testimony as to what how his travel has been. And so we always figure it's good to have an experience and share that experience, especially if it can help someone else. So, with that in mind, the last thing I'm going to say first is if the videos have been helpful to you, do subscribe, like, and share. That helps us to bring more content to you. So we would appreciate that, and also tell a friend. Brother Walker, welcome. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, sir?
Good, good. Talk to us. You've been with Mount Tabor for 6 years. How did you come about becoming affiliated with Mount Tabor Grand Lodge? Of
Well,
course, you're in Joshua Lodge, right? Joshua 15.
y- yes, that's correct. Well, I actually started. I actually was going to some meetings with my cousin, and he kept, telling me, "Hey, if you want to better yourself, you can come join the, Masonic Lodge." So I actually went to one meeting, and I kind of was like in and out. I wasn't focused, so I kind of just was like, you know what, I'm gonna probably come back to this um, when I'm more focused. So he definitely inspired me because I was seeing, my cousin doing a lot of stuff, and of course his light was shining, and I was seeing him on Facebook and stuff like that. So I was like, I said he must be doing something right, getting some type of knowledge. so so
Let's give him a credit. What's his name? He
uh,
he will
bro,
appreciate you mentioning his name. Okay, come
I
on.
want I want to get a text message after like you don't know my name. His name's Brother Ellis. Brother, my older cousin, Brother Ellis, and he was telling me, hey, read Kings 1 and 2. And the first time I was kind of like just everywhere, and I didn't have time to read it. But when I did read it, I got just changes before I even joined the order. I got significant changes just by reading Kings 1 and 2, and I was like, well, if I can get results off this small bit, imagine if I go all in, if that makes sense.
But what was your situation? What caused you to want to listen to Brother Terrell Ellis?
Well, one, he was he still does and running a successful company. He was working for himself. He had everything going on, typical American dream, family and house, and it's my cousin, so I try to look up to him a lot, but what made me join was that I didn't, my I was going down the wrong path. So I was like 1 foot in the streets and 1 foot out. Yeah, then I was drinking all the time, so I was battling with that for like 10 years. I was like to the point where I was like homeless, and I didn't really have no other option, and I was like, well, kind of like what could I do to get this guidance to push me through? So that's when I decided to join, which was an amazing journey.
Well, now, how old are you? Because you do look young here, talking
Uh,
about drinking and so forth. 10 years.
yeah, I can say some good news about it. Well, first of all, I'm 35.
Okay.
Some good news about it is I can say I experienced a lot of the negative stuff at a young age. Which I can say, which is I can say it's good because I experienced a lot of the stuff that some people experience when they're like 50 years old or older.
Okay.
So it's like when I was younger and I was battling with like alcohol addiction and stuff like that, um, I no longer need that anymore. I mean, I've been sober for 10 years now and I was battling it for 10 years. I mean, and I'm when I mean sober, I mean I don't even drink alcohol like mouthwash with alcohol in it. So so but one thing to piggyback off of that is I kept getting the Bible verse is be sober minded because you know your adversary the devil
Yeah.
walks around like a lion. So I was like, okay, there's something about being a sober mind and Allah's principle. So in Mount Tabor, it will say, you know, we renew your mind. So that's one of the Bible verses that we go off of.
Okay.
So mindset, I would say, is I would 80% of what people have going on. If they say they can't do something, that's all in their mind. If you think you have too much bills or you're too far off, that's all in your mind. As soon as you switch that around and put God first, it can take you a long way.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, what part has Mount Tabor? Because obviously you've been working, and we're going to get to some of the things that you've accomplished. But what part did Mount Tabor play in your transition, if you will?
Well, even when I first started, it was more there's a square and compass that we go by. You know, manage your time. That helped out, you know. So I was doing 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for God, and 8 hours to help a brother out. So that helped me a lot because I was using my time to use 8 hours towards work a day, but instead of me actually using it to work for someone else, I was using it to build myself up. But when I still did have a job, I was using like maybe a couple hours a week to, you know, pour into myself
Okay.
to to boost myself up, and it was more like integrity was one of them and accountability. So it was like, okay, you have to be here at this time. It's not like the military, but it has military um concepts, if
Okay.
you would say.
Now you mentioned pouring into yourself. What do you mean by that?
um One, the Bible, and reading and all the information that we get from Mount Tabor. So I was coming in and I was kind of like one of you. Of course, people who are new to this probably don't know, but when you come in, you're kind of like just listening. You know, kind of like you know you're just like, first of all, you got to be a follower before you can be a leader. So I was
Okay.
just listening to everybody. Um, I would take in the good or anything that I can use, and anything
Okay.
that didn't apply to me, I would just kick back out. And I still, and I, well, not in a negative way, just
No,
like
no,
I
no,
said.
no, no. I'm not taking it negatively. Because I have a phrase. I say, eat the meat and throw away the bone.
Yeah. So if I would come over, you know, like, or when we had a meeting over your house and you guys were talking, you know, company stuff, even with brother Corey, and he was breaking down his company stuff, I took what he had that I can benefit and, you know, help other people out. I would say that's the most important thing is it's not all about self gain. Of course, this life comes with perks. You know, of course, you have stuff to, you know, you don't have to beg for change. I will put it that way, but it's all about helping another person out. Like, how can you help maybe like another brother out, or a family relative that deserves it?
Right. Right. And obviously, you say deserved it.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there. 'Cause I start saying help people out. Everybody will be calling my phone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you mentioned earlier that you had been homeless. So, are you from Houston? You're not from Houston.
I'm not from Houston, so I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
and I and it was more like, I would say mostly my fault, because I would go over to people's houses and be sober, and we'd be like best friends, and then I'll start drinking and start in trouble, and then people didn't want to kind of like deal with me, so they were like, "Hey, you can't stay here, or you have to find another place to stay," pretty much in a nice way. And I was like, "Okay, what am I going to do?" Because I never been in this situation,
Okay.
and my dad, he always like worked and had a house, and his stuff going on, and I was like, oh my God, I'm literally homeless, sleeping at the bus stop. I was like, okay, this has to change. Like,
Yeah.
so it was kind of like an angel when Brother Ellis reached out, because he was like, hey man, um, did you ever figure out what's going on? So I was like, you know what? Um, that was the first time in my life where I realized that you can use that money is just a tool to gain the wisdom and to invest in yourself. So when I mean like self motivation and self improvement, I paid my fee to join the Masonic Lodge course Mount Tabor,
Yeah.
and that information that I gained from there helped me become a better man. So it's like, even though I came off of a fee of money, it benefit me in the real life. So it's
Okay.
just like it a lot of, well, we need to get back to where a lot of brothers read books like you announced in the beginning, the Mount Tabor book. I recommend that a lot because a lot of us don't read. So um I had a you know there's a saying that goes around is, if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the book. I'm gonna do the complete opposite.
Well, now, education. How many college degrees you got?
I have no I have no degrees. I have I barely got to high school. If you want to claim that, I have no wisdom advantage over anybody. But I will tell you is, if you
You
stick to
attended the University of Hard Knocks.
of hard knocks, that's correct.
And you can declare yourself having a well. Let's see how you qualify. We're gonna give you a degree from the University of Hard Knocks.
Hey,
Okay.
that's perfect. At
Okay.
least I got something to
So
you.
you were homeless. You were drinking too much. You were rowdy. I always pick at you and say you're from Philadelphia, which you really don't like because of Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh. I do know you're
Yeah.
from Pittsburgh. However, uh, what have you accomplished since you've been sober minded?
Um, I can say it. I accomplished a lot. To the point where when I was sober minded, I was focused. Like I said, I was soaking in that information from Mount Tabor. I was I still do, but I'll read Proverbs once a day, every day for 12
Okay.
months. So that way I'm rereading that book almost, I would say, about 12 times.
Yeah.
And I will read Psalms, um, one verse. And, I think another scripture that I really like is, seek the kingdom of heaven first, and everything will be added to you. So when
Okay.
people say I have a problem, I say, seek the kingdom of heaven, and all things will be added to you.
Yeah,
So
okay.
if you got a light bill, if you got a car that's broke down, he said everything. See,
It
people
ain't
forget
that.
the
It
everything.
can't be that easy. Come on now, brother Walker.
I'm just saying, but some people think about it. Some people wake up and what do they seek? They seek validation from another person. They go on social media,
Yeah.
look at the news and see how many people got killed and all the negative stuff. So that's one of the first things you should do is just seek God, and I put my life on it. He's going to help you out, because I'm not a perfect person, and I know if he helped me out, he's definitely can help other people out.
Well, if he's gonna help you out, that means you have to do something.
Yeah,
You have to go to work.
and yes, that's true. One thing, I think before, when I first joined, and and I was just like, I wouldn't say eavesdropping, but I was in a meeting with you and the other brothers, and you were saying 90% of problems can be fixed by if you just go to work. So, like I said, that soaked in. I was like, okay, let me put expired actions behind my ideas, because I used to go to people and say, hey man, I got this nice idea and blah blah blah. I could think I can make this work, and they would look at me like I was crazy, but I started putting action behind it, and it started getting results.
Okay. Okay. So what have you accomplished in the years of being sober?
Um, I would say as of right now, I have 3 companies, and
Okay.
I'm working on the fourth one for driving, commercial cleaning, real estate, and of course my vending one that I just started. I have, I would say, 3 vehicles. I have a house with 2 acres,
Okay.
wh- which I didn't think I would even have land.
Well, coming
So
from Pittsburgh, y'all didn't have very much land anyway, did you?
well, we didn't even have it was about half a yard.
Okay.
Now, of course, my dad, he would take care of his yard, but you might go to the neighbor's yard. They got cement and rocks and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I mean that just shows you like um what aspiring action would do. But I would say when people say there's no success overnight, that that's about 99% true, because it took me, like, I would say 6 years of just keep going and focus and applying the principles, and sometimes you get up and work 6 months and you won't even see no results. That's why you have to run off of faith, because some people get tied into the system where if I work for a job, I got a guaranteed paycheck, I can pay my
Right.
bills. But
Right.
if you're doing an entrepreneur, you got to be like, well, I put 6 months in this project. Like, the 50% chances it's going to work, it's almost 100% relying on God. And next, something comes through, and it's a big one instead of a small one.
Okay. So we're gonna give you 4 years for a bachelor degree and another 2 years, that's 6. So we're gonna put you a master's degree uh, with at the University of Hard Knocks. Okay.
Yeah, that
And then
works. That works.
you're working for yourself, so that we're gonna give you some points for that. Okay. So now you're
Yes.
between a master's and a doctorate.
Yeah.
Anything else you can tell us that's gonna make you become Dr. John Walker?
Yes, sir. Master John Walker. It's going to take me a while to gain that. Definitely.
So, um, and so now your life has changed, or just changed drastically, is what you're telling us.
Yeah, definitely. I have a fiance now. I've been out of the country 4 times. I didn't think I would be out of the country at all, unless I was shipped out in the box at one point. And
Okay.
I mean, I just want to be, straight, because some people are looking at this and they don't have, nothing to their name. And those was kind of the stories that inspired me, because I was like, this dude was sleeping in his car 3 years, and now he's, a millionaire helping a lot of people. I'm like, is this full of crap? I can tell you, like, as far as my walk, it is true. Definitely, like, I got a beautiful daughter. She's 4 years old. We try to take like 3 vacations a year. I try to attend to the Masonic trips that we go on every year. Make sure that I stay connected to our brothers in the lodge, and
Okay.
I mean, my life has changed so much. One point I used to work 12 months just to try to survive. So it's a blessing to have everything that God bestowed on my life.
So, what would you say to a 25 to 35-year-old man who wants to better himself? Number one. Number two, want to be able to take better care of his family if he has one. And number three, if he wants to do something noteworthy with his life. What's
Well,
your recommendation? What's your advice?
my advice is, first find revelation. Of course, you got to get some type of guidance. So if that's your inner voice talking, sometimes your inner voice will tell you to stay away from bad areas. Get a revelation on the Holy Spirit, of course, pray. If you don't believe in God, I mean, I'm not going to like shun you out, but find some type of foundation that you can use to, get a better decision making. Because if you have nothing to your name, um, and you need guidance, definitely you want to reach out to someone that can help you out. Like I said, I reached out to my cousin, and he helped me out
What's his
and put
name
him on
again?
brother Ellis. I'm sorry. So
Terrell Ellis.
yes, Terrell
Yeah,
Ellis.
this
So
way he won't. I realize that's your older cousin, so
yeah, yeah.
he's not gonna jump on you for not
Yeah, I don't want
recognizing
him to jump on me after I see him later on. But
it. Right.
yes, yeah, definitely, if it's Masonic, uh reach out to someone that's Masonic that has traits that can benefit you. Now, keep in mind, there's politicians. Everybody is not your favorite politician. Everybody's not going to have, some politicians lie, some politicians are bad.
Yeah.
So the
Right.
same thing is with Masonic. There's people that just all they want to do is just party, and that might not, you can probably get that now. You want to reach out to someone that has principles and you can look up to use what you want. And once you reach out to them, of course, apply that to your life. How can I apply this to be a better man and to help someone else? What me and Grant said before we got on this call is that this is to help someone else, to help another brother out. Even if we find one person and they join, that's still helping someone out. Um, Use that information, and of course you want to have some type of excuse me, you want to have some type of stable income so you can support your family. If you're out and about, you want to find a job. If you want to do your own company, you want to find an avenue to find people. The best way that I started making some big money is I looked at a problem that a whole bunch of people have, and you solve it. If you solve people's problems, you would never have to worry about money. It doesn't matter if the economy go up and down. Like, that's why real estate been around for what, thousands, probably since King David.
Ever. Yeah. They fought wars about real estate.
Yeah, because think
Yeah.
about it, everybody needs a place to stay, so that's a big problem. Now, is there a lot of people in it? Yes. Does it seem saturated? Yes, if you look at it on the internet, but it's really not, because you have some people that jump in and go 2 months and quit. So just
Okay.
whatever you want to do is just stay persistent. Even if it's a job, getting a manager job until you can save the funds to do what you really want. So that's what I would recommend.
Okay. And so your first step after you got sober and desired better, you made a decision to look into what industry, or how did you identify the industry to get involved with? We don't need to know what it was, but how did you identify? What uh, questions did you ask and seek, and look and so
Okay.
forth?
Well, I looked for I always what I try to do is try to research how much a certain company will bring in per year, like the industry itself.
Okay.
So if an industry is bringing in like $2 billion, I know, like, okay, if I can get what 0.1% of that, like as of
Okay.
right now, just me, that will benefit me. And my uncle had experience doing the company, and my friend had experience doing the company, so I seen them do that, and my uncle still does it too. So I got on a call with him, and I was like, "Hey, how do you how do you think this will work? like, and he, he's like, pray about it. But he was like, I'm telling you, the first 2 years, it's going to be hard. You're going to want to quit. So what I'm just telling you now, since I've been through that little, um, you know, 2 year gap, is to just stay with it. So, and that's what
Okay.
I did. Mhm.
Okay. And that gave you seed money to do something else, to move to the next thing and the next thing and the next.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So where are you headed from here, Dr. Walker?
So Dr. Walker. Well, you waking me up this morning. Look, I don't need this coffee. I would say, the sky's the limit. Like my goal is to, I, I want to tell see, if you have a story and a background, it's good to let other people hear it. So I'm trying to spread, wisdom, even Masonic wisdom to help other people out. So my goal is to scale my companies at least by 50%, or I try to go up like 30% a year or 30% every 6 months. And honestly, I'm trying to buy like a vacation home. And my main goal is just seeing my bucket list is like I want to go to Mexico again to see the temples and stuff like that. But as far as my next 5 year plan is just I want to have 5 companies that are doing very well.
Okay. Okay. Well, this has been interesting, and I do appreciate you coming in and or meeting me on the Zoom to share your story and words of wisdom and so forth. Is there anything you want to leave with us? Because I'm going to take this and put it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, okay? Which, by
Mhm.
the way, again, fellas, if you want some good, wholesome instructions or information, check out Mount Tabor YouTube channel. There's well over 200 videos that will help enlighten you and empower you so that you too can accomplish what you're after. We'll probably put this on Facebook too. I'm going to send a copy to you, Dr. Walker, for your approval before I do anything.
Oh,
So,
that's fine.
but again, do you have any words of closing words of encouragement or statement?
Well, I would say seek enlightenment, and if you're far off and you know it doesn't seem like anything is going to work, pick God first, and try to put scripture in the beginning of your day. You'll eventually see signs. You just got to pay attention. Don't
Uh,
try to get discouraged, like, or distracted from the outside world.
yeah, it's interesting because you said you read a scripture that says, be sober minded.
And that's when you start seeing stuff. You're like, okay, I'm sober minded. This starts popping up, and you start realizing like certain stuff's a distraction. Some people just want to call you just to tick you off, just to mess up your day. You have a good day, and they want to lay their problems on you. You know, okay, so you definitely want to be sober minded, and like I said, find a mentor and put your money to good use. Some some people in our culture will buy $300, $400 pair of Jordans. U- Use that money to invest in a mentor and education. So that's why I mean, like when I used the money to get into the Masonic Lodge, it gave me wisdom and enough kickstart to be a better person.
Okay,
So that's
okay.
that's. Mhm. Sorry, I don't
Well,
want to get
sir,
talking.
I appreciate you. I don't want to take up all your day. I know you got to go make a million.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. Like, I'm trying to. Man, I'm about 3 in the morning trying to get it. I'm looking like this. I said, "What you need, man?"
No problem whatsoever. But in my guesstimation, and we're going to take a poll at the lodge to figure out whether you're going to become bona fide Dr. John Walker.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I gave you master's degree, so we're going to let the brothers vote on whether or not you are Dr. John Walker. So just look for
Okay.
the announcement
No.
coming up, okay?
Oh, okay, brother.
Somebody will say, how is he going to just make his man the doctor? Well, hey, God calls us to service. Man gives us titles. So
Mhm.
I'm a man, I can give you any title I want.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
That's right. That's
So,
right.
but anyway, I thank you, sir. And we will
You're
be
welcome.
talking for sure. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And see and what we can do to help one another further. So
Okay.
thank you very much.
You're
You have a
welcome.
good day.
Okay, you too. Bye.